Hi guys, it's Sarah with Grassroots Evolution, and I'm here today to bring you a monthly message for the sign of Taurus for July 2020. So keep in mind it's a general message. Take what you feel applies for you and disregard the rest. Go about your day, my friends, and know that no matter what messages do come through today, it's still up to you and your active free will, the choices you make and the steps you take to get your fulfillment in this world. And for me, that's personal freedom. So I'm just going to take a moment to call in Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Gabriel, as well as Goddess Isis today, to use me as the clearest channel possible to guide, guard, bless, and protect myself, this reading, and any of you who would ask for it, as well as to help to deliver only messages that are for the highest good of those of us watching. For all my subscribers, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. You mean the world to me, for real. And if you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by. If you feel like this has resonated, please feel free and hit subscribe, join the journey with me, and let me encounter your energy more often. It'd be wonderful to have you along. So I am going to just take a moment first before we get too much into the cards, and I'm going to ask a message from the Messages from Life Oracle for a little spiritual advice for the remainder of July. Again, keep in mind this time is fluid, so this message may be for whenever you encounter it. If you encounter it past 2020, it still may resonate. It's just when I'm filming it, and to kind of keep a little bit of an order to things. So two flipped over in here, and the first was unity and return to the inner temple. And for me, this speaks really, really highly of getting in touch with ourselves, being in union with ourselves, trusting our spiritual nature, trusting our intuition, and returning into that inner spot within ourselves that we know our divinity resides in. So let's read here what this has. So there's nice little affirmations here. Today, I become one with my inner light. I live in the present moment and stop trying to defy time. I no longer react according to my fears. There will never be a valid reason for me to stray from my own inner light. I become calm and regain a lightness of spirit as I connect to my inner self, center in my heart, and glow in all my divinity. And can you see in this giant energetic bubble, her heart is glowing. The more we open our heart, the more we express joy in this world, and the more we come from a heart-centered place, the more in unity we are with ourselves as well as spirit. But not only that, when we come from a heart-centered place, we're acting more in unity with the people around us because we're spreading seeds of our heart with them. And I think like this is also important. This card didn't come up, but to see with the eyes of our heart as well. Also, this idea of being in unity mentality means that we're not lacking anything. We're all one. Return to the inner temple. I stop destroying myself through negativity and worry. Today I rediscover my inner self in silence and calmly study the lessons life has provided. I cease to panic and no longer imagine the worst even before something happens. In harmony and light, I return to the inner temple to discover the richness of each step of my life. And I feel like it's really important here too to remember that your inner light is really important. To be in the present and to stop trying to defy time. That sometimes we have goals. Sometimes, well, we should always have goals, but sometimes we have goals that we feel we aren't making quick enough progress on. We feel like, we're trying to live in the past, and this is saying, you know what, we need to react according to what is in front of us rather than the fears, as well as with this one talks about not trying to make the worst of a situation or think the worst before it even happens. Sometimes some of us have that kind of defense mechanism where we assume the worst, that way we're not going to be let down when it's what we want doesn't happen because we already expected it to not happen. That's not really being in unity with ourselves, and that's actually creating counterproductive energy putting that forward. So here's what I would say is have a non-reactive mind is what I'm hearing with this. But rather than, sometimes we react. Everything that we encounter, if we react negatively, if we react in a way that we're not so proud of, this is a really great time to return to that inner temple. Say, oh man, I had a pretty bad reaction. I must have got triggered pretty strongly. What was it that triggered me? What was my soul trying to show me? Where is the healing that needs to be done? And to move from that place and to know that every step in this way, where you are at this moment in time, is exactly where you're supposed to be. It's perfect divine timing. So this is time to work on us, to focus on self-care, to be in touch with our soul, to live from a heart-centered place, and to also know that if we do react, because we are all human, we all make mistakes. Where is this coming from, and how can I use this information in my day-to-day to bring personal healing and growth to myself? I want to show you the bottom of the deck is here. I discover who I am. And the bottom they show me too is dance to the rhythm of your life. Do what you need to do. I no longer put myself down or see myself as having limitations. I discover my inner wealth and become aware of my true self. I am in touch with all of my needs and not concerned about the judgments of others. I marvel at the beauty and all the possibilities available to me as a being of light. I learn to recognize what is divine in me. And that's also important too, to realize that we are all part of the same one. We are all interconnected. Our divinity is also connected, and we are also connected to divine spirit, to source, to God, however you put it, but we're all sparks from that. And we can all access some of this knowledge as well, this God knowledge, so to speak. So I am in touch with all my needs, and I am not concerned about the judgments of others. It's also really important. When we get in unity with ourselves, when we trust in our own divinity, when we get in tune with our inner temple, it doesn't matter where everyone else is. We're not going to be in competition mode. It doesn't matter if they're in a different stage than we're at. We're going to be happy where we are. And also discovering that we each have different lessons along this earth plane, and there's a reason for it, not to compare ourselves to others. So dance to the rhythm of my life. Today I realize the joy in my heart. I cease to cling to things I do not need, to things I do not have, and to things that I am not. I no longer struggle against life or simply endure it. I regain a positive attitude. I appreciate and accept life as it is. I live according to the will of God and see the magic of love everywhere in my life. And that's really important. The bottom one I'm just going to show you but not read it is the Inner Alchemist. Knowing that you already have everything that it's going to take in you. It's going to take some perseverance. It's going to take personal strength. But whatever it is in your world you would like to manifest, it's going to take your personal power to put that forward, as well as positive affirmations, discovering who you are, keeping things, I heard, light and airy, but focusing on the now, not focusing on what happened 10 years from now. If there's a place that healing happened, if there's a place, that we need to bring healing from something that happened 10 years ago, that's absolutely fine, but that's still living in the present, going, okay, I'm no longer going to allow this thing that has hurt me. I'm no longer going to allow this darkness or this energy to hold me down. It's my time to shine. I'm going to go at this. What is the core, what's the core medicine? What is it that we need to address? Because yes, we may constantly hear something I'm hearing, so take it how it applies. Sometimes we blame other people for their situations, and we hold on to the attachments to what they've done to hurt us in the past. But what that does is still giving them power over us. See what they've done. See how it impacted your life, and then go, you know what? Today's a brand new day. Each day that I walk on this earth, I have a choice. I can choose to dwell in things that have happened in the past, or I can make a choice to heal in this present day, which is going to change my life going forward. And I feel like that's really important. Do it in your own terms. Rediscover the joy in your heart. And if you find yourself really holding on to heaviness, really engaging in self-care activities to help you kind of transform day by day. So I'm going to bring a message. This is called the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. For anybody interested, it is a new deck to me, so I will be possibly reading out of the book if it needs to be, but they've got some pretty good mantras here. Wow, that's too much. So we're going to ask, please, for Taurus for July. All right. The bottom, make a meal. This is important too, because this is fueling our body. This is sacred healing. This is kind of creating spells, so to speak, while we cook, because we are in putting our intentions to nourish our soul, as well as if it's not the most healthy of things, we're putting the intentions forward that we're going to give our soul sustenance and soul food, so to speak, comfort food, things that make us feel good. But this is also the intentions forward that we're putting. Make yourself a meal. This can be very, very therapeutic, as well as you're in control of what you're putting in your body. We got write a gratitude list. Nourish your temple, right? Much like this food, sweet treats was underneath that as well. So for some of you, when we're trying to regain control of our life and these little self-care things, food is really important. And I feel like it's food that says nourish your soul. This sweet treats talks about making a sacred act out of eating these things, that every once in a while it's okay to enjoy fruits, and treats, sweet treats, cupcakes, chocolate, whatever it is. Again, in moderation, but doing this for yourself. And I want to read a little bit out of that before I go much further here. It says, life is sweet to me. That's the mantra to use. Indulging in a sweet treat every once in a while so that it remains truly special can be good for your soul. This is not a time to restrict calories. So whether you eat it alone or share with loved ones, before you take that first bite, say a prayer to express your gratitude for the nourishment and joy it will provide. Be sure to savor every second and keep your mind clear while eating it so you can experience it mindfully. And you think that's what's really important here, is being mindful of what we're doing. Creating this gratitude list so that if there's places where we need to remind ourselves why we're lucky, what we're grateful for, do it. It can be very, very healing. And I think the more that we come from gratitude, the more in harmony we are with this earth as well, and the more at peace we're going to be. So nourishing your soul, nourishing your temple, this is obviously food, this is getting sleep, this is getting rest, this is listening to music, having a bath. Underneath all the food stuff here was create art too. And that's important too, because this is creative vision. And for some of you, don't hold so much on to the idea of perfectionism. Just allow this to flow through you. Even if it's just getting a pencil, if it's getting a paintbrush in your hand, don't focus on, what am I drawing? Just allow it to come, and don't question so much on whether it's good or not. That's what I want to say there. So you have dream journal as well. For some of you, if you've been having crazy, wacky dreams, write it down. Figure out what is there any kind of oh my gosh, themes going on. Is there power animals? Are there people in your dreams? I feel like one of the things to remember too is, what is the feeling? So whatever you wake up with, write this down. How did I feel in my dream? Is there something underlying it's connecting to? Is this part of a reoccurring themes of dreams? Is it a reoccurring dream? What can I learn from this? That kind of stuff. We also have build strength. So for some of you, whatever you're working through to heal, this is also important. We're nourishing our body. We're taking care of our body, knowing it's the only house that we have to live in. We're writing gratitude, because gratitude is healthy for our soul as well. But building our strength, exercising, using, I heard core strength as well, using our muscles. This could be bodybuilding as well. You have use your hands. Do something constructive, right? This could be, using your hands could be artwork. It could be pottery. It could be cooking. It could be cleaning your house. It could be anything. But what I feel like is important here with these sweet treats is 5, 5, 5, so number 50 and number 55, as well as make a meal, 3 and 2 add 5. Oh my gosh. And this is number 55, the gratitude list. I feel like this is such an important time because you're responsible for your own change. And this is important as well because it means, I think, if you guys ever heard, it's a saying that's coming back, idle hands is the devil's playground or something like that. I feel like that's not saying, that the devil's going to creep in and get a hold of you if you don't keep yourself busy. But I feel like this is saying, express yourself in a very tangible way. Keep yourself busy by doing things that you love. exercise, cook yourself a meal, do things, paint, draw, do things that you have the power over, a means of control for. For some of you, this could be like literally cleaning your house, though, I feel like. Let's use your hands, say here. We also have chanting. So the mantra here is, my voice is heard. And for some of you, this could be really important when you're meditating. This could be chanting Buddhist chants. This could be light language. Could be many different ways that you could take this. But this is all using sound healing as well. But knowing that your voice is heard, and that's important to remember. Let's see here. I create magic with my hands is the mantra here. Reconnect with the magic that comes from creating with your hands. What do you feel called to make or fix? Sign up for a pottery, woodworking, or glassblowing class, or anything that piques your interest and curiosity and remind you how empowering it can be to create your reality with your own hands. So one of the journaling things that you could think about here, when is the last time you crafted something with your hands? How did it make you feel? I feel like some of this could be as well the inner child stuff, or just get your paintbrush, get a paint, get a marker, get a crayon, do something. Could even be journaling because it's making something with your hands, but having that power and knowing that you did this, a sense of accomplishment at the end. For some of you guys, it again could just be, if you don't like to do pottery and stuff like that, cook. Because every day we have the power to create. Every time we eat, we have the power to create. And some of these meals are beautiful, intricate, and you have so many delicate flavors that you could put in as well. But this is important because it's setting our intentions like this, using eating as a ritual, that we're using it to nourish our temple. And staying strong here as well. And I'm feeling like it's important here for some gut health may also be important. Number 38, let's see what that one says. I nourish my body with clean food, healthy water, and positive self-talk. Tune into your body and ask what would feel nourishing. Sit down or lie down and place one hand on your heart and the other on your lower abdomen. Then ask, what do I need today? What's your body calling for, right? Listen to yourself. If you've been in a bodybuilding or workout frenzy and it's asking for rest, listen to that as well, because your body needs rest to be able to heal properly and for you to keep going, to keep your stamina up and to not feel like that's all you're doing in your world. So a lot of messages there, but I feel like it's really important that remember your voice is important. Learn how to use your voice as well as trust your inner voice when it's talking to you. Learn how to listen to it. Discover who you really are through all this, paying attention to you, and that's not selfish. It is absolutely not selfish to engage in self-care. It's absolutely necessary. So what are you grateful for? What are the tools that you can use here and now going forward to help you heal, to help you grow, to help you learn, and to help you change? Because so many fives here, it's so important. I feel like that this whole era right now, I feel like is a major important time. We're in a catalyst for change. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to what your body wants, eat the food that you feel drawn to eat, and be grateful for everything that you have and everything that you are, as well as I heard your connection to spirit. So I'm going to pull some messages now from the Wildwood Tarot. Grab a drink of tea. They're showing me again, dance to your own rhythm. Means that while you're doing all this stuff, engaging in self-care, a lot of these times it reminds us the things that we used to like, the things that make us who we are. And creative expression, as it flows through this can be divinely inspired as well. Taurus, please, for the sign of Taurus for July 2020. Spirit, what messages would you like Taurus to know for this month or going forward, please? Heard, take your time to deliberate. So these came out, and this flew. So what we flew out was the otter and the page of vessels, which is the page of cups. This is also, otters are so playful, so family orientated, so loving as well. So I feel like this is taking your time, though. He's just sitting here waiting for the right time. And it took me a while to get the cards out, right? Take your time to deliberate. Take your time to move in the direction that's right for you, that brings your heart passion, that gives your heart fire as well. And this is also, maybe it's going to take your first steps. And I say that, and we have the Fool here, crossing that rainbow bridge over the stream into the unknown at the very start of their journey. Two more cards. Now, they were in the reverse. I don't feel like it's important to read them in the reverse, but if there is any blocks, they'll show up. I feel like you get the King of Arrows. So this could be an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. This could be you, and being really up in your mental mental space, but being mature, right? I think this might also be thinking back. If you are thinking back, if you are speaking, we're learning a lot with this Eight of Stones, or the skill card here. We're learning a lot about the past. We're learning a lot about ourselves. Some of us, while focusing on something that we're doing with our hands, a new skill that we're doing, we're going to learn a lot about ourselves. And I feel like this is saying, you know what, go for it. Don't think too much about it. Don't overthink it. Don't talk down to yourself saying you're not going to be able to do it. Don't say that you're not worthy. This return to the inner temple says, I stop destroying myself through negativity and worry. Don't be afraid to take the steps into the unknown because you're not sure how it's going to go. Because if we stayed in one spot all the time because we weren't sure how this direction is going to lead us, we'd be stagnant and we'd never learn anything new. So I feel like this may be taking baby steps with the Fool towards our heart's desires, but doing it in a way where we've thought this through. Right? We're not focusing too much on worry or fears, but we're realizing, what have I learned along the way? What tools do I already have? And seeing that with this gratitude list, I didn't pick it up and I didn't put it away. And I think that's important too, because when we create a gratitude list, when we write them down, we're actually already looking at the things that we have at our disposal, in our arsenal, the things that we are truly grateful for, the things that are good in our world. And we're seeing ourselves, I feel like, as a lot more whole, and that unity is important too. So let's get a little bit more on this Fool. What is the leap that you want? Thank you, us to take. So 2, we have the Star card here, and this is the pole star. So he's walking into this forest, and we have the star up overhead him. So kind of like you're leading the direction home is what I heard. This is also healing. You have the Six of Stones here, which is about exploitation. A lot of times this is the Six of Pentacles. A lot of times the Six of Pentacles is about maintaining in balance. But I feel like this one also talks about looks like forest fires raging in the background. Their bees' houses have been a little dilapidated by the elements. Their tools are broken here, but they're still standing. And that's important to remember, because this may be bringing healing to a situation. If you've been through the fire, as well as what I heard, you may be asked to take that step forward to create healing, but to also know that you're never too old to wish upon a star. And as you're putting those intentions out to the universe hears you. And what we focus on, we're going to see more manifest of that into our worlds. So keep an open mind, keep clear thoughts, clear consciousness as well. Focus on what skills you have and where can you go from there, right? Tell me about the star, please. Thank you. And you get the Knight of Arrows. So we have the King of Arrows, the Knight of Arrows. You could have a few different people here involved with you as well. This Page of Vessels could be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You could have, again, the air signs. This also could be, if it's not other people, this is you trying to figure out, where do I go from here? Kind of channeling inspiration. With the Fool, knowing I need to have a clear head. I need to be in highest thought vibration. And I feel like with this Knight, it's saying we may also have to have some discussions. The Hawk is seen from a higher standpoint, overlooking things, as well as, so the Kingfisher is an excellent fisher. He can see through this murky water and understand where the fish are. He can catch them. And that's important, to be able to rise above the emotions, to still focus on what have we learned when we're healing. But I think this hawk is also important because you hear things like they're watching me like a hawk. This hawk is always in search for prey and very quick when it sees it to fly after and go after what it wants. I feel like this is going to say, you know what, yeah, take your time and deliberate with this otter. Be playful. Don't forget to enjoy the zest and the spunk of life while you're doing it. Take chances. I'm hearing Miss Frizzle again for some of you. Take chances, get messy, make mistakes, take chances, right? That kind of stuff. And this is saying, you know what? Once we get our healing, once we realize where our heart's pulling us, don't be afraid to go after it when it comes there. So the bottom of the deck is the stag. And the stag talks about the constancy, the constant drumming of the universe, the constant movement, as well as if you see on his drum, he's got the tree here. As above, so below. Very, very stoic as well, kind of half animal, half human, but he's also maintaining his stance. And I feel like this is also protective of you at this point, saying, you know what, while you're making your decisions, we got you. You're okay. Just follow your drum beat, follow your rhythm, dance to that rhythm that's right for you, and follow your heart's calling, because they're going to lead you to very wonderful places, and you may be learning new skills that are going to help you along this way. Also, I heard with this is keep an open mind, because as we heal, as we change, we don't know what kind of experiences are going to come to us, and we don't want to put I heard like a damper on that, but you don't want to put limits on yourself. So I'm going to call in Isis again, Lady Isis. Thank you. So for this is from the Isis Oracle. You get Divine Destiny, Path of the Divine Warrior. I feel like this month, whatever healing, whatever movements you make forward, trust that it's part of your destiny. It's part of a larger plan. You also have the goddess here of 1,000 names. And it says Isis, endless emanations of the priestess. This one also talks about we all have a spiritual name that we identify ourselves with. We all have a name, and that we were given what that name means to us, the love that it means. For some of you, you may want to take a meditation, and you may want to say, what is my name? What is the spiritual name that you have given me, Spirit? What is my path? We have truths unveiled here. And this could be truths in a lot of things, but I feel like this is truth for you. The revelation of Isis. And we also have the Temple of Black Obsidian, the Dark Healing Chamber. Much like this pole star, or in the darkest of nights, you can still see these stars, and sometimes it is on the darkest and blackest nights where these stars shine more brightly and their beauty is shown. Don't worry about past exploitation. Worry about who you are now. Because any experience that you've had up until this point in your world is grooming you to be a certain person. And after you've learned the lessons, if you've gained strength, if you've gained, acceptance in your own personal power as well, you start to see things a little more clearly. So if you're going through a messy healing, I heard messy breakup as well, for this could be a lot of things. A lot of times our romantic relationships are huge catalysts for spiritual growth, and it's about how we move forward, right? How we see ourselves and the love that we maintain for ourselves. For some of you, Black Obsidian or Snowflake Obsidian may be really helpful, really healing, and a really grounding stone to have around you. You may be really, with this truth unveiled, what I heard is you may be releasing old thoughts, old ways of thinking, and this is going to really show you new ways. We may have thought things for our whole life that were not true, and now we go, you know what? That's not the truth for me. That, as well as truth, truth lies in between. There's a song by Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and Five Finger Death Punch has just covered it, called Blue on Black. And it's the part in there where it says truth lies in the in-between. There's always more than two sides to the story. There's what you think, what they think, and what happened. And somewhere in the middle is where this needs to be. So find yourself, your power. Find the name of power and be comfortable expressing that power as well. And know that whatever you do, whatever chances you take, This is part of your divine destiny, and you are a divine warrior. So stay strong, my friends. Be true to you. Find yourself, and know that as well with this unity, you have the power to channel spirit. That's what I've got. I love you all, and I hope you have a great month. Bye, guys.